Hi, it's Milan again with the tuningintotheone.com video blog series. Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time. Today we're going to cover some of the more noisy things that happens between the ears. And oftentimes when we're looking to live in a better place, in a better space, we find it difficult because there's always this kind of noise in the background that keeps us from attaining some greater level of joy and happiness and love in our lives. And it's a direct result of when we complain, when we blame, when we shame, when we criticize, then we occupy our time and our minds with self-talk that is just noisy, repetitive, and contains a lot of stuff that just usually isn't serving us beyond the point of recognizing there's an issue or a problem. And then we want to ask ourselves better questions. Unfortunately, a lot of the time we're asking ourselves the worst questions possible, and then our unconscious mind starts focusing, okay, that's the question you want answered, so let me go for it with you. Well, there are 5 of the worst phrases or kind of comments you can make and use in a relationship, primarily starting with the relationship with yourself, because what'll happen then, it'll be like an accelerator into what you don't want. And so to avoid getting deeper and deeper and deeper down the spiral of emotions to the place where you don't want to be, you want to avoid asking yourself these questions. What are they? The first one is, are you out of your mind? When you ask yourself this question or direct it towards somebody else with your inner voice or your out loud voice, you're creating a question that will take you down answers to a place where you may not want to be. What's wrong with you? That's the second one. Or what's wrong with me? Why am I always attracting the wrong kind of guys into my life? What's wrong with me? Or God, what's wrong with you? Again, you'll start getting the kind of answers that only serve a limited purpose, to be able to identify the problem. Great, it's wonderful. If you want to ask a question, make sure you're asking a better quality question. The third worst type of question or statement you can make is, are you crazy? Are you stupid? And that's either directed at yourself, again, or towards somebody else. These are not serving questions. They'll raise red flags in your unconscious, and you'll start getting the kind of noisy answers you don't want. The fourth one, you're so lazy or selfish or stupid. Similar to the above, but now it's a statement of judgment. It's a statement of where you see this person. It's where you're taking the behavior and turning it around into an identity piece and saying this person is like this. And the final one, probably the worst one, is when you label somebody. So the name, blame, shame, complain, and criticize game will have us going down these places. The last one is, you're such a loser, you're such an SOB, or you're such a B, I fill in the blank CH. When that happens, you're going to create a little tempest of negative emotions that's going to rise up into your body, and that's going to serve an extremely limited purpose. So when the focus is on blame, shame, name calling, complaining, little gets done or resolved, and it only breeds contempt, judgment, and divergence from what we want. So ask yourself, what is the goal that I want here? What is the outcome that I want here? And then look for a non-negative way of describing it or asking yourself the same question. The best place to start is to move away from you statements and towards I statements. So ask yourself, what is the non-negative descriptive version of what it is I'm describing here, rather than the name, blame, complain, and criticize game. So I think or I feel is a great place to start. After that, you can go to a more neutral descriptive type of statement, which is, when this particular thing happens, I think the worst. When this particular thing happens, I see a particular behavior. I see laziness. I see dishonesty. I see unworthiness. And then you can take it from saying something towards yourself as a question or a statement, or directing it at somebody else, and really making it more about a descriptive condition that results in what you think, what you feel, or what you see. And so then when this happens, I feel very upset or angry. That takes the focus away from the person for being wrong or lacking something or labeling them, and it calls out the behavior without labeling that person as the behavior. This is essential. I often get asked by clients, how do I change things around? How do I turn the boat when that noise, when that background of all this stuff that's going on in your head starts? You want to go back to a simple mantra, which is, I have an amazing life with abundant pay, and all my opportunities are unfolding in a wonderful way. Start there as a pattern interrupt. Then get away from the, are you out of your mind? What's wrong with you or me? Are you crazy or stupid? You're so selfish or lazy, or you're such a loser or an SOB or a BI, fill in the blank, TCH kind of thing. And you get more into, when this type of a situation happens, I think the worst, I see a bad behavior, or I feel very upset or angry. And then you don't make the person wrong, you don't make yourself wrong, you don't start calling out somebody for what they're lacking or labeling them or yourself, and you call out the behavior. And then we get into, what are the deal breakers in your life and how do you address those? So remember, take the 5 worst phrases and turn them around into non-negative, descriptive ways of communicating the same information. It'll work so much better. You'll get to a more neutral place that'll have a more heart-centered, opening way of delivering the message. And so if you want to get more out of this and develop even greater dating excellence and relationship mastery, then click on the link on your screen and join us in our private group where you can ask your questions one-on-one, and I will happily answer them. I'm in there each and every day. So until the next time, this is Milan wishing you amazing relationship mastery and dating success. Bye for now. And don't let that noise in the background get to you. Ever. Because if you let it, it'll get louder and louder and louder. Bye for now.